Asanteni sana. Ndugu walimu, hamjambo? Walimu hoye! Bwana Yesu asifiwe.
Fellow Kenyans, we have been told that every day is a busy day at State House. Yesterday, William Samoei Ruto hosted over 6,000 grassroots leaders from Murang'a County, whereby he spent over 60 million, that is to bribe them, kuwapongeza kwa kazi ambayo walifanya, because everybody was supposed to get 10,000, so that is over 60 million. To my surprise is that today William Ruto ametoka sasa kwa grassroots leaders, ameingia kwa walimu. And I've been asking myself that William Ruto hosting teachers, how is it going to help them? How is it going to change the working condition? How is it going to help William Ruto get votes? Ama walimu wanafunzi wenye wako na IDs, the students, the pupils and the students that have got votes. Anyway, that is what I want us to discuss. But before that, let me quickly remind you that if at all we are meeting for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can as well like, you can share, you can drop me a comment in the comment section, tell me what you think and where you are watching this video from. Thank you very much for those who already subscribed. Thank you. I'm here because of you, and that is why I keep on updating you on what is happening. And some people are asking, Biboni, kikombe ya chai tunatuma wapi? You can send a cup of coffee via this number, and I know that all shall be well. 100 bob, 250, anything, whatever you have. Si lazima utume 10,000. Hatukiwa na 100 unaweza ukatuma tu, hamna shida. All is going to be appreciated. Let us get into the discussion. But before that, let us listen to William Samoei Ruto speaking to teachers, telling them the way Kithure Kindiki ni fire, say fire. And then we continue the discussion. Listen to him.
Asubuhi na walikuwa wameomba ukija tuabudu nawe namba 1. Kwa hivyo DJ nipe mkono wa Bwana. Walimu shamba na vigelegele za walimu wa chekana ziko wapi? Karibu sana Your Excellency. Asante sana.
Ukitaka kufaulu unatafuta deputy amesoma kuliko wewe. If you want to succeed, you put people around you who are more intelligent than you. Saa ile wanakusaidia kushine, you take the credit, wao ndio wanafanya job. Si ndio? Nilikuwa na mwingine alikuwa analalamika hajasoma. Nikaona ataniangusha. Lakini ndugu walimu, mimi nawakaribisha. Asanteni sana kwa kubali mwito wangu munitembelee. hii mkutano ya walimu mimi ndio nimeuliza, na nimeuliza kwa sababu I have reasons why I want us to have this meeting. Mnanielewa? Najua kumekuwa na maswali mengi. Walimu wanaenda kufanya nini State House? Mbona hii mkutano inafanyika State House? Mbona sijui nini, maswali mingi. Mimi kwa sasa ndio mwenye hii boma. Ndio. Kwa kibali ya Mwenyezi Mungu na kwa kura zenu. Si ndio? Na mwenye kusema nani atakuja hapa na nani asikuje si ni mimi. Sasa nikisema walimu wakuje hapa kuna maswali? Iko maswali? Sasa karibuni na mjisikie mko nyumbani. Mimi najua ni mara ya kwanza kwa walimu kufika State House in this manner.
Now, these are the groups of the teachers union that were present in today's meeting at State House. We have got the NAT, the KUPPET, the KEPSA, and the KESA, the KESHA. Those are the teachers unions that were present at the State House today. Now, I want us to try and start looking at this thing this way. That what are the key moments? Like what really happened? Why would teachers just decide to go and sit? Over 10,000 teachers waamua waende State House na wakae chini ati wanasikiza William Samoei Ruto. What are the key announcement? Like the promises? You know, of course, you know very well that wakati ambapo umeenda State House, there must be promises. Everything must be there, like lazima ifanyike. Hata walimu wenyewe they're expecting something in return. So what are these things that these teachers were expecting or are expecting after meeting William Samoei Ruto? Number one, William Ruto talked about the issue of hiring teachers. And of course, we know very well that right now, over 76,000 teachers have been hired out of 100. William Ruto promised that he's going to hire 100,000 teachers by January. But right now, he has only hired 76,000 teachers. And then also this issue of budget boost, whereby education allocation up to 540 billion to 702 billion Kenya shillings. Number three, there is this issue of housing allowance, whereby teachers are to get 20% of affordable houses, units, and MOU to follow. The fourth one is infrastructure, whereby 23,000 classrooms under construction. And the last one is the promise of the CBC transition, whereby Ruto has pledged to smooth competency-based curriculum rollout. Now, all those promises, the announcement and the promises, I want us to talk about them one by one. William Ruto is promising to hire teachers. Now, as you're talking about hiring teachers, Mr. President, how are you going to pay them? Of course, you know that you're going to hire them, but the payment, you know, the problem is not even hiring, because I know very well that there are a lot of teachers out here. There are a lot of graduate teachers who are expecting maybe to be employed, to join maybe to get the how do you call it? For the teachers that are here, there is this number, the TSC number, yeah. There are a lot of people who are expecting to get the TSC numbers. They've not gotten. There are a lot of teachers outside here who are expecting to be employed. They've not been employed. Wanafanya tu, and in fact, there are some teachers who are not even doing who are not even teaching. Kile ambacho wanafanya ni tofauti na kile ambacho walikisoma, because there are no jobs. A lot of schools don't want to employ teachers. Even if they employ teachers, how will they pay them? And here you're talking about hiring them again. You are hiring people that cannot be. There's no way they can be paid. You're talking about budget boost. You're talking about housing allowance. Kwani hizi nyumba za housing allowance hii mambo na 23, hii mambo na kusema 20% of affordable houses zinaenda kwa walimu. Wale walimu ambao wanaishi kwa wanafunza kule upande wa Turkana, how are they going to benefit from the affordable houses? Wale walimu ambao wako pale ambapo hakuna affordable housing, how are they going to benefit? Or it is just for the small for the teacher for the teachers when you wako kwa urban centers? What about the rural teachers? How are they going to survive? You know, the president is supposed to style up, because hii njia yake ya kufanya campaign mimi sioni kiendelea. Another thing that we need to talk about is what are the demands, like the teachers' concerns or the expectation, because you know everybody, nimesema kwamba everybody, wakati ambapo mtu yote anaenda State House, they have got the expectation, like sisi tunaenda State House, tukitoka State House, these are the things that we expect, or these are the things that we are supposed to see. But then what happens if you don't see them? Like number one, the teachers' concern is about the welfare. What is their welfare? The welfare, when we talk about the welfare of the teachers, we're talking about the better pay, medical cover, career progression. Are we seeing all these things? How can you talk about the medical cover yet SHA is a very big mess, is a problem? But remember, wanakatwa every now and then. They are concerned about the better pay. The better pay, they are being told that a lot of them, majority of them are wengine wanaenda kuongezwa kwa serikali kwa kufunza. Some of them are going to be employed, but you know, you can't say that you are going to employ more people if you can't even pay those who are already there. That is one thing we need to understand, that if you can't pay wale wachache wenye wako hapo, how do you expect to pay wale ambao utakuja kuongeza? A question to ask. Another concern of teachers is pushed for collective bargaining agreement, the CBA finalization. It has not been finalized. So that is why they also expect to finalize the CBA, the agreement, and then the complaints on delayed capitation to schools. Of course, that is an effect. Hiyo imeharibu mambo mingi sana. Remember the issue of the CDFs, the capitation in schools, the land program, and that is why unakuja napata kwamba sasa hivi teachers are saying that there are a lot of things that parents are supposed to stand for. Like wewe kama ni mzazi, you need to prepare yourself so well, because yale mambo ambayo serikali ilikuwa inasimamia haitasimamia tena. And you hear some of them saying that Kibaki did not give us free education, so how do you expect William Ruto to give free education if Kibaki did not give? I expected that if Kibaki gave us free primary education, Uhuru Kenyatta gave us high secondary education. So what was expected of William Ruto is to find a way of making university and college education be simple and easy for everybody to access, anybody who qualifies to access. But now you find that zile vitu ambazo zilikuwa, they're becoming harder every day. And they're talking about the issue of the skepticism, promise versus delivery history. Of course, that is a trend. That has been a trend. What they promise is not what they give. That is it. Sio kwa walimu peke yake. Everybody is complaining that what the government promise is different from what they deliver. So we can't talk about that after you atuhitaji kuzungumzia, and then they highlight Nat's tough demands and turn on union leaders. Now, the implementation. Let us talk about the implementations. How are these things supposed to be implemented, or how do they expect these things to be feasible and implemented? Number one, the financial realism. We have to ask ourselves that, can Kenya sustain 100,000 new hires plus 20% housing units? And then let us look at the debts, the IMF pressure, budget gaps, and then you are promising teachers that you're going to employ 100,000 of them. How are you going to pay these 100,000? You know, we really need to look at the reality. Before the president said that he's going to employ these teachers, before he said that he's going to give them 20% of the affordable houses, we look at the reality. Let us hit the reality. The reality of the matter is that there's no need of promising these people what you can deliver. William Ruto cannot give this, cannot. Okay, what were Harambee Stars? You are promised 2-bedroom affordable houses. Were you given? They've not been given. How many people have been promised all these things that and hawajawahi pewa hata siku moja? So before celebrating, we really need to look at the reality of the matter. The reality is these things cannot be delivered. William Ruto cannot give them out. That is the matter. That is the truth. Aizi akawapea. Aya. Look at the housing program critic, whereby we have got the AHP, which has faced delay and controversies. Where so if the AHP has really caused a lot of controversy, so do you really think that teachers will really benefit? This housing allowance program as it may cause a lot of critics, a lot of delays, controversial every now and then. So walimu ndio wataipata virahisi. Also talk about the infrastructure questions, whereby we talk about the 23,000 classrooms. Is there a timeline? Like the timeline of building these 23,000 classrooms. First of all, first questions first. These classrooms zinaenda kujengwa wapi? Which schools are going to benefit for all these, for these 23,000? How many schools do we have in this country? Now, take the number of schools, divide by the number of classrooms that they promised. How many classrooms will be built in each and every school so that it can benefit all schools, so that all schools can benefit from it? We also look at the past performance. We recall earlier promises, and then we talk about, remember when Ruto promised the free laptops for students, the CBC rollout struggles. They're not there. So wakati ambapo unaona walimu wanafurahia, walimu wana celebrate that mmepata nini? What have you gotten? You are not the first people to be promised. You are not the first group of people to be promised. Neither will you be the last. Yesterday, the Muranga people were promised a lot of things. Do you really think it's going to be done? Just the other time, Kisii people were promised. Turkana were promised. Wakaambiwa sijui watajengewa damu. Sijui wakaambiwa watafanyiwa nini. Do you really think they're going to be fulfilled at the same time? Kwanza hata mkifikiria they are going to be fulfilled, where is the money? Kenya is rolling out of debts every now and then. And then mnaambiwa ya kwamba mara sijui nini. Let us style up. Come on. All these things you are seeing is just about politics. Politics every now and then. Politics here, politics there, politics every day. Now, what I know with William Ruto, what I believe with William Ruto the president, is that whenever he sees a group of people, yeye kitu ambacho anafikiria jinsi ambavyo anaweza kupata kura. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. He is only focusing on how he can get votes. And that is why Ruto is looking at teachers as a voting block. Like, if all these 100 teachers can vote together, yeye anaenda kupata nini? Angalia kwamba nyinyi mtapata nini? Anaangalia yeye wakati ambapo mmekuja hivyo. Atawa convince aje mpigie kura, because he knows very well that you can't go and convince everybody out there to vote for him. So wakati ambapo mmekuja kwake, yeye anapiga hesabu jinsi ambavyo nyinyi wenyewe mtapiga kura. There is nothing like this one may look like a political move in 2027. This one is a political move. There is nothing that William Ruto is doing about Mara projects. Hakuna. This one is a political move. And Ruto knows very well that if I do this, I can gain. We also try to look at the union relations. And then we also need to ask ourselves that, is Ruto trying to pacify teachers who often organize strikes? So anajaribu kuingiza box ili wasiorganize strikes. Because remember, if teachers goes on strike, inakuwa walimu wanaenda strike, and then after walimu tunaenda kwa madaktari, after madaktari tunaenda kwa polisi. Police have never gone on strike, by the way. Inakuwa tu madaktari walimu. Inakuwa tu hapo. Madaktari walimu hapo tu. And then the students, all that. So I don't know whether he's trying to neutralize this thing. Anajaribu kusema kwamba wacha nijaribu kutafuta njia ili watu wasiende strike, because wakienda strike a lot of things would happen. And then let us talk about the public sentiments. whereby parents and students also care. Does this restore confidence in CBC? Because by the way, kama kuna kitu ambayo imeleta shida hii Kenya ni mambo na CBC. You know, why is CBC a problem or a headache to both teachers and the parents and students? Because nobody understands how CBC works, and nobody would understand how this thing can work. That is the naked truth is that nobody understands how CBC works. Hata wale ambao walileta CBC, it was brought by the former CS of education mwenye alikufa. So tell me, nani atakuja wakati ambapo Magoha alikufa? Magoha is the person that had got the idea of the CBC. He did bring it, he did tell it to anybody. And then akakufa kabla ya watu wote wajue the meaning or maybe what was his target. So right now iliwachua wale ambao wako totally confused, the people who are only after their gain, who are only after popularism but are not after looking at this thing in a wider range or a wider picture. That is the problem that we have. And then we also talk about budget sustainability. All these things that are being promised. Will this grow with the growth of funding of loans, you know, taxes, cuts? Do you really think that it's going to make things survive? Because remember, we have a lot of PR. We have a lot of PR in this government. Whereby Ruto anasema nitafanya, nitatenda, which cannot happen. Now, after William Ruto have hosted the teachers, and I've listened to him speaking and also teachers speaking, saying that walikuwa nadhani kwamba Ruto ni mtu mbaya, lakini baada ya kumsikiza they've decided that they are going to support him and they are going to vote for him in 2027. What are the risks? Risk number one is this: over-promising. You know, Ruto promises until he forgets with what he promised first. And the problem is, wale watu ambao wanapromisiwa saa hii, they forget that this guy is genius in promising. That is a mistake. Hao watu wanasahau ya kwamba this guy is very genius. Kwa promises, is very genius. You see? Number two, I've said that the affordable houses in order to benefit urban teachers. The rural teachers are not going to benefit. Hata mbebe mtolewe sijui mkuku, mtolewe sijui wapi. You are not going to benefit from the affordable house. Niambie, wewe unafunza Turkana na umepewa nyumba Nairobi na unapaswa kuishi kwa hiyo nyumba. You're not supposed to rent it. How is that going to benefit you? And how much will you be spending kwa transport? Remember, majority of walimu ambao wanaishi Gishagi ni wale ambao the rural teachers wanaishi nyumbani. So a teacher comes from his house, nyumbani, haja rent, anatoka nyumbani kwake ama kwao, anaenda shule. Jioni ni hivyo. That is how they survive in rural areas. You don't expect teachers to be renting houses in rural homes na huko ndio makwao. Not unless maybe yule mwalimu ambaye amepigwa transfer. Hiyo ndio inakuwa challenge. But unapataka majority of teachers wenye wanafunza nyumbani ni wale ambao wanaishi, ni wale ambao hiyo area ni yao, so they know how to maneuver. And also hiring more teachers without improving working condition could worsen morals. I've just talked about these things, that there's no way you can talk about hiring more teachers yet you can't increase or improve the working condition. Improve the working condition of the few that you have, and then after that is when now you'll find a way of working or on how you can ongeza or you can employ more teachers. Last one, the budget sustainability. This budget cannot allow William Ruto to employ teachers. It cannot allow William Ruto to give affordable houses. It cannot allow. Tusidanganyane, it can't. So walimu wamepromisiwa and they believe that they're going to hire 100,000 teachers. They also believe that they're going to get 20% of the affordable houses. They also believe that the CBA has been addressed, their welfare, and is going to be catered for by the President William Ruto. But I want to say this, that this State House meeting could mark a turning point in teachers-government relations. Maybe, or it will just be around promising that fade away. Time will tell. I want to tell me, do you really think that it's going to make a difference? It's really going to make a difference, because bearing in mind that a lot of people have been going to State House. Watu wengi sana, different groups, wamekuwa wakienda State House. So leo imekuwa walimu. Next week tunangoja madaktari. And then wiki ingine tunangoja polisi pia waende State House. After all, guys, that is just my thought, and that is all for now. Let me just know what you think at the comment section. Don't forget to tell me what you think and where you're watching this video from.